times that we're living in now, we meet people, we talk to people, and it make us feel good about ourselves. We will feel like that, hey, these same people are so cool. And a lot of times, and especially in this generation, right? What you don't ask, they won't tell you. And it's kind of, and it's really funny because it's like, yo, a lot of people will have, most people will have a lot of things that's going on. Hold up. No distractions. Let me turn off the notification. Boom. All right, cool. And a lot of times they have a lot of things that's going on with themselves. And if you don't ask them or you don't have them to convince themselves what they got going on, they will not tell you. A lot of times, and I'm sure that some of you, we see things and we just turn the other cheek and act like we don't know what's going on. Until when it's your time and you feel like, hey, how come you never told me this, that, and the third? And it's like, they'll tell you like, oh, you didn't tell me. Or I wouldn't think that it will bother you. Or they'll come up with a story and say, oh, this happened, that. Believe me, always ask, always take your time. Always take your time, especially when you meet a person, because you don't really know them until they really show you who they really are. Before I get in the video, let me introduce myself. This is Gene, your best friend, best friend. And I invite you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. Today we're going to talk about always take your time to get to know a person, because you do not want any unexpected surprises. Yes, usually, I always talk about other things. Of course, this is the topic too, but interesting week that just passed last week, right? Because when I post this video, it's a whole brand new week. Talking to someone, a female, beautiful girl, man. I'm the kind of guy, and I'm gonna share a little bit about me. The type of woman that I like. I guess this is telling you that I'm kind of opening up to you guys, because hey, I feel like that you guys my family, right? We're sharing each other, but so why not? I share my thoughts, right? Met this girl, I seen her before, and from what I've noticed, it was always we always communicate by looking at each other, and there's always like, obviously it's somebody I've seen, we're always looking at each other, right? And this female I'm talking about, this girl is like actually my type. This woman is my type. She seems so serious, she's quiet, and it was just like she was just, and then I noticed that we seen each other again, and we caught same eye contact. So I'm like, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to y'all, family. I'm like, dang, is this the one? I'm talking about we seen each other, and she smiled and she said hi to me. I said hi. They said, hey, hey. All right, cool. You would never think that, all right, cool. Check this out, y'all. I know I'm kind of dragging it a little bit, but hear me out. So she sat at the same table where I was at. Actually, we was at work. So, she was right close to me. And, all right, cool. I noticed that she was so broadly, like looking at me. Like I'm talking about, like she was like, and I'm on my phone. I'm looking at some stuff, looking at some videos. I'm laughing. I'm on my own zone, and I'm picking up calls here and there. And she's just looking. And then when I looked at her, she turned her eyes. So I'm like, okay. Homegirl's really like, she's really, she's really, you hear what I said earlier. Yeah. So she came up to me. I looked at her and she said, we worked together before, right? Where? I told her, yeah, we worked. So I noticed that I'm looking at her like, yeah, we worked together. I said, hey, everything's good, yeah. Engaging in a little small talk. Obviously, people that was around us, they was looking at us like, yo. They was just curious, like, what I mean? Like, it was strong intentions, right? So, listen. So we started conversating. We started having a conversation. I'm talking about back and forth. And then I got back into my thing. I'm seeing she's staring at me again, like she's smiling. So me personally, I was like, all right, man, you know what? I'm gonna have to just, level two. Let's conversate. I'm communicating with homegirl. We talking. I'm walking to a certain area. She's right there. I'm like, all right, cool. Fast forward. I'm saying something to her. We conversating. I'm I, level three. I asked her, "What's your ethnicity?" Now I'm really digging deep. I'm asking questions about her. What do you get into? Boom, boom, boom. We talking. She's smiling and eye contact is crazy. I'm talking about like we're both like engaging. I'm talking about we're talking and she's leaning over and then I'm talking about like how it is, ladies. Y'all leaning over. She's leaning towards me and I'm sitting there like yo, yeah, yeah. So we together. We were working. Mind you, we have somebody else that's working with us. He's sitting right there. She leaned over and she's talking like I'm talking about like it's crazy, man. We're going back and forth. This is like she's just and then now I'm talking to we having a whole conversation and then we went back to where we were originally sitting down, and I'm just checking my phone, just making sure. Now she's getting a little deeper, asking me questions about where I came from, this, that, and there. I'm like, whoa. I came and sat right next to her. We having a conversation. She's leaning over. We just talking. She's smiling. Pick up the phone. She said, "Excuse me." She's talking really low. This is where it's gonna. This is where you guys gonna be like, She's talking really low. Me, I'm a kind of person. Man, if you're talking really low like that, what are you hiding? Think about it. What are you hiding? Usually you have a conversation. Yeah, I'm just doing this. Da, da. Talking really. I'm talking about low. I barely can't hear homegirl. So as I'm like conversating with her, we talking, and then she's talking. She says she's telling me she's looking at me like, excuse me. I'm looking like in my head. I'm like, okay. I mean, why you talking so low? You know what I mean? Just be you. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking in my head that she probably has anyone because the communication that we got. I know I'm kind of dragging it, y'all, but this is a lesson that we have to learn. So me, I'm like, yo, this don't seem too good to be true. So I'm asking questions and I'm telling where you come, and then I'm asking questions about, and then I'm asking a question to see who she's with, and then she's just dodging, kind of dodging the question and everything, and then one thing leads to another. It's like she kind of sort of seen that I know what she, if she have someone, and then she had to say, yeah, I'm married. I was like, oh, in my head, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, family. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I looked at her, I was like, like it was like, oh, you married? Oh, okay. I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of like backed up. I still talked to her and everything, but it wasn't really. And I kind of noticed that all through the day when I kind of backed up a little bit, she kind of like kept on looking at me, and she was talking to other people. She kept on looking at me the whole time. Now, mind you, I heard the conversation. It wasn't like mine. And even some people were just saying we were sitting next to. Should I let you sit next to her? I was like, no, no, no. But I continued to communicate and keep it professional. And then, of course, I was still professional, but at the same time, you could tell the communication was, you know what I mean? But where I'm going with this is this. I took my time and really got to know the person, even though I felt some type of energy. And I'm thinking like, oh man, this is really cool. Maybe I can get to know this person until I kept on conversating with this person. I took my time. I didn't rush it. Of course, I had to be careful of work. I didn't want to like make it look like more than it was. But at the same time, I was just communicating. I took my time. And of course, I couldn't, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that you can't be friends with someone. But took the time and realized that look, if the shoe was in the other foot and I was to be with somebody, how would my person will feel, right? Um, but obviously the vibes, I can't really say that I'm making this up or anything, but vibes don't lie. Communication, even complimenting, when I was getting complimented, this, that, and the third, and leaning over, being touchy, I'm like, oh. So taking your time is really important before you know someone. Even a friendship, even someone that you find attractive, take your time and really get to know that person because you don't really know what they're involved in, what they're into until you really get to know them. Most people are just so good at hiding it. Most people are just so good at, making it look like something until they realize that, hey, you caught me red-handed. And it sucks, especially in these times now, because us as people, we could be so harmless and communicating and meet something so well, but at the same time we have feelings. And these same feelings that we have for a person, that person can manipulate you and make it look like that they're not really into something because they like your energy and you make them feel good about themselves, and they will not even tell you until you find out. They have their own personal reasons. Most people have their own personal reasons, but that doesn't mean that you should get me involved with it because you seen that I was into you somewhere, one way or one not somehow. Of course, girl was cool, and I you know I was like, that's when I switched it up. Even when it was conversation, I didn't just cut her off like that. But I started asking customers about how long you been married. Oh, congratulations, this, that, and the third. Of course, I'm like, oh, what I mean, dang, this is how it is like that. And especially, it's not. I had a conversation with someone, many people, and they get involved with people, and they get their hearts broken because a lot of people don't really tell you what they really got going on. I mean, luckily for me, I'm God's child. You know what I mean? He always looks out for me. But a lot of people have to work a little harder to get something out of people. You know what I mean? That sucks. But where I'm going with this is this: always take your time. Always take time. Even friendship, you can meet someone and you think that they mean genuine. They're genuine around you and they mean well. And the whole time they're just around you because they just want to take your energy. They just want to be around you because they see that you're a good person, and they just want to be around you. They just want to imitate you. That right there, you just don't let anybody in so quickly. You know what I mean? Not everybody could just be around. If that makes sense. They can't just be around you. So, like I said, if this video resonated with you, and I'm sorry I kind of dragged it a little bit, but I had to break it down to you. It was a good example. You know what I mean? Listen, y'all. I do these videos, of course. I'm human too. Of course I like to be in a relationship, right? But at the same time, I do come across people too, and I'm not perfect, right? This is one of the reasons why I do these videos. So you guys can see that, hey, yo, we can relate. You know what I mean? It's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. And I had to use humility. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I had to break it down to you. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, yo. I know I'm bringing it up again. I look at her like, oh, you know what I mean? But if that makes sense, I invite you guys to please like, share, and subscribe to your best friend, your new best friend. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.